Poppasteves here. Today I'm talking Sculk. Now, I've been playing with these Sculk sensors and I want to get more of them. I need to build a farm. Let's talk about the Sculk first. This is Sculk. It's got a slight animation to it. You can break it with any tool with Silk Touch. Must be Silk Touch. If you use anything else, doesn't have a Silk Touch, you get a little bit of experience, but you don't pick up the block. Okay, Silk Touch for everything, as far as the Sculks are concerned. There's my Sculk sensor, the one I used. And this is a shrieker. This summons in the warden when you're in the deep dark. Now when you place them around your base or anywhere else, they will not summon the warden. Okay, it receives its signal from the sensor. When I move around, the sensor picks up my movement and tells the shrieker to start shrieking. If you place a wool block between the sensor and the shrieker, the signal doesn't go through. Okay. If you try any other block here, it still works. It will still send the signal. So, it's got to be wool. Now, wool has some properties about it around these Sculk sensors that if you place a wool block down and walk on the wool, the sensor does not pick up your movement. Great for when you're in the deep dark trying to get some of this stuff. Take wool with you. Now, we can put a line of wool on either side of this sensor. Place a repeater, a block, a bit of redstone, then a dispenser right on the edge of that redstone. Perfect. Okay. Now, I place an arrow inside the dispenser. Now notice, when I walk around the sides, nothing happens. As soon as I get in front of that Sculk sensor, it sort of shoots out an arrow. Let's try this again. Place the arrow in the dispenser. Now, when I move, ow! I really need a better way to demonstrate this. But anyways, this is how I used with my archer, so that it only takes shots when it's directly in front of. It's kind of cool. Okay, there's one more block we need to talk about. This block can only be obtained in the deep dark. You must go to the deep dark to get it, and it must be mined with Silk Touch. That block is the Sculk Catalyst. Okay, remember, it must be mined with Silk Touch. It has an interesting property that when hostile or passive mob is killed next to it, it will convert blocks into Sculk. This is how we're going to farm it. Okay. Again, you must use Silk Touch to mine it. You must go to the deep dark to get the catalyst. It will not regenerate. It will not spawn in. There's no possible way for us to farm a Sculk catalyst. But shriekers and sensors and just plain old Sculk Farm. Now, I got this set up over here. It's your typical mob farm. Now, this center tube here, normally I make about 20 blocks tall. This time I did it 26 blocks tall. That way, when a mob falls, it will die when it hits the bottom. Okay, there's my catalyst. You can see those bubbles bopping around. That's when something has died in our mob farm. We place some, I'm using tough here, in here. Mob falls. The catalyst converts the tough into sculk. Occasionally, it will produce a sculk sensor. Rarely, it'll produce a sculk shrieker, but they do spawn in. Now, one important feature of this is the top half of my mob farm is separated by 2 blocks from the bottom half. Occasionally a creeper can fall through, but he's trapped in that little cage I've made. And we'll despawn. He's no big deal. You could make this a lot bigger, but this satisfies my needs. I got a lot of sensors, and that's really all I want. Well, that's it. Notice it's away from everything, otherwise that sculk will spread everywhere. And that is my Sculk Farm. Looks kind of cool. Well, this is Poppasteves signing out.